5UG channel. Robert Kesakos is your usual suspect. Welcome back to yet another live broadcast on your favorite football updates channel. It's a pleasure to be back with you on this beautiful Wednesday night for yet another piece of action from the UEFA Champions League. It's the second day or the last day of the quarterfinals. With Real Madrid going into halftime with a 3-2 lead against Bayern Munich, which means it's a 4-4 on aggregate. Realist Arsenal are yet to find the breakthrough against Sporting City, so that one remains 1-0 on aggregate in favor of the Gunners. Sorry, I'd even forgotten to wear my microphone. Anyways, like I told you in the morning, I had hoped to come to you earlier, but that was only conditional if the situation had permitted it. Well, it did not permit it, and therefore that's why we decided to come at this opportune moment. But yeah, hi Pedri, how are you doing, my brother? Hi Adash, how is it going? How has been your day? Are you guys enjoying the games? I'm sure Pedri, I'll buy you coffee. Pedri, yeah, you've been promising that for quite some time now. I'm now just waiting on the delivery. But yeah, I don't know if you're enjoying Real Madrid because I know for a fact that you're not a fan, but that action is ongoing in as far as things go. I don't know how you feel or whether you're enjoying the game, but if you disabuse yourself of the bias that you have for Real Madrid, I'm sure there are moments you must have enjoyed in there, or you must be supporting Bayern Munich on the other side. I'm joking. You were against my team yesterday. I wasn't against it. I just simply gave my objective opinion and prediction, but I gave you to win, and indeed you won. You just did not do enough to win and go through. So I do not think in any way that's my fault. I want Bayern to win because if I am out, Madrid should be out too. I completely understand. For the rivalry that exists between the two sides, I think Real Madrid always carry the bragging rights of knowing that when it comes to the UEFA Champions League, they are miles ahead of Barcelona. So, and that's basically it. So I completely understand where you come from with that regard. Stefan Morris says exactly, failure is the pillar of success. Someday you lose and someday you win. Well, I'm not sure Arsenal fans will relate with that because they've never won the UEFA Champions League. So anyway, they've only made it to one final, and that was in 2006, and they lost to Barcelona. So I don't know how they will treat that. So, guys, I kind of like the broadcast. I can see we still only 4 of us. Let's like the broadcast, but also I don't believe there's anyone new here on the channel today as of yet. But what did you guys make of the opening 45 minutes? Adash, we got robbed. Little boy. Pedri, be careful with your language. I'm not sure everyone will take it in the sort of spirit that you carry it with oftentimes. Unless otherwise. So yeah, basically that's what is transpired. A very, very early goal for Real Madrid. That one came through Adagula. Manuel Neuer with a very, very poor clearance, and Adagula scored in an empty net. And then good enough for Bayern Munich, they fought their way into sort of getting back into the game very, very early, quite on in the game. So really, it was really, really interesting. So it's a marathon of a game. Well, it does feel like even a sprint because usually marathon may be a little bit slow for test, but this one has pretty much felt like a sprint. It's been sort of very open, sort of been end-to-end kind of football, pretty much like we had anticipated or predicted it will be. So Adagula scores in an empty net. Then Alexander Pavlovich, I do not know what Runin was doing in terms of keeping his goal during that corner that was, I think, floated in by Joshua Kimmich. I completely do not know what he was trying to do, but he completely missed out on that, and he headed Pavlovic headed into an empty net. Then Adagula scores the other side. That's now the first two goals. Of course, the first goal comes in the first minute. Then Pavlovic is equalized in the 6th minute. Then you have an Adagula 29th minute goal, which makes it 2-1. And then Hurricane responds in the 38th minute, which makes it 2-2. But then Kylian Mbappe, with his 15th goal of the campaign, scores towards the tail end of the second half. That is in the of the first half. That is in the 42nd minute to make it 3-2. Now, the problem with Bayern Munich in that particular goal, when you watch the third goal, is particularly because they tried, I don't know, to play the Barcelona way. It was a very high line that Real Madrid beat. Real Madrid are so good on the counter-attack. What are you doing, playing, that kind of a high line? And you could see that as Kylian Mbappe scores, Dayot Upamecano is simply arriving back, because he was way absent. Yes, I understand he has purpose for going up front because he did provide the assist for Hurricane's, equalizer to cancel out Adagula's second of the night. So I completely understand. So anyways, for those of you that have just joined us, my name is Robert Kesakos, and I'm coming to you live from Kampala, Uganda, where it's 5 minutes past the hour of 11 p.m. Welcome back. Welcome to the Football Tribe UG channel. Kindly do me the absolute honor and favor, like the broadcast, but also consider subscribing to the channel if it is your first time here, and help support our community so that we can continue to grow. Pedri, please tell them to subscribe to the channel. You're one of my most loyal fans on the channel, so maybe you can stress the point for them even further, the beauty and the importance of joining the Football Tribe UG community. So anyways, in a snapshot, that was the case for Bayern Munich against Real Madrid. On the other side, it was almost blank. Sporting CP, I think, had the best chance of the game, and they hit the base of the upright, but the ball went, returned back into play. So in other words, it remained 1-1. It remained goalless. That is until halftime. Arsenal have been blunt. They've not created any goal scoring chances. They can hardly get Victor Gyökeres on the ball. There've been a good number of those back passes. There's a moment where you had David Raya trying to act not too smart, but simply being clumsy, that he conceded possession in a very dangerous area. But again, it's because Arsenal had played backwards as opposed to go to the offensive. I think he was attempting to find Martin Zubimendi in that particular moment when he loses the ball, and unfortunately, Sporting CP could not make it count. And then again, Sporting CP, the other thing that I did observe is that they have picked off Pep Guardiola's script, or as well, just as much as Bournemouth did over the previous weekend, that when you go into the counter press, do not be overcommittal into the man-to-man kind of press. Simply apply a bit of pressure, invite Arsenal to sort of, pass that ball out of the backline to try and find their midfielders, and then they will fail, and you try to pick on all those balls. So they've had some ball recoveries in Arsenal's third, but overall, they are yet to, create a good number of chances. But they had, like I said, they had the best chance of the game when they hit the base of the upright. There was a penalty appeal for Sporting CP for, I think it was Katamo versus Pierre Hincapi. Pierre Hincapi made contact with Katamo in the box without making contact with the ball, but it was deemed to be too soft. I don't know if foul or contact, or in fact, it wasn't deemed a foul, but it's too soft a contact for it to warrant a penalty. And I could see the referee signal to the rest of the teams that, it has been reviewed on the sort of by VAR, and there's nothing more to it. Anyways, the second halves are already back underway, so let's get to enjoy those slowly by slowly, bit by bit, and hope for the best for your respective teams. I may have to switch my feed, I think, for maybe the Real Madrid game, because I've had too much slacking in as far as the opening 45 minutes was concerned. So then I think Arsenal had an attempt from distance. That one came through Ebeleche Eze, and he could not find the sort of the targets. But yeah, I did appreciate it for what it was. Even in the second half, he's just tried to attempt for goal from distance. That's what the sort of thing that I would want to see more from Arsenal. Be intentional. Try and as much as you can to try and find the back of the net from distance. If you're struggling to create chances, especially the kind of chances that are more or less lead you to a simple tapping on goal, because oftentimes that's what they're looking for, and it continuously eludes them. So what good is it sticking to a strategy that is obviously not yielding the kind of results that you intend it for? Isn't that the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. So they must check that perhaps and see whether they can find other solutions. So yeah, okay. All right. Let me get to some of your comments. Okay. Okay, we did get robbed. That was from Pedri. Adash said nobody robbed you until you feel so. We did get robbed. I'm guessing you didn't watch the game because you maybe can't afford the live stream. Really? Subscribe, everyone. Thank you so much, Pedri. Adagula did his iconic halfway line kick off goal thing. Yes, almost. Then Lamine Yamal will destroy your team. Okay. You mean in the El Clasico that will be coming on March the 35? We are waiting for that one as well. I don't know. I don't think it will live to the hype because of the point gap that Barcelona have created between themselves and Real Madrid. So it's a 9-point difference. So if Barcelona can maintain that sort of gap between them and and Real Madrid, then by the time we get to play the El Clasico, its meaning will be of little significance in regards to the context of the Spanish La Liga title. So I think that's what we ought to bear in mind. So it's 4-4 on aggregate. If it does finish like this, that means we would be destined for extra time in as far as the Real Madrid Bayern Munich tie is concerned. And then if it ends goalless between Arsenal and Sporting CP, that means that Arsenal will go through 1-0 on aggregate score. I believe that's too slim, very unconvincing if that were to be the final scoreline. Nonetheless, it still gets you through. So maybe you take solace in knowing that you've gone through regardless of what this actual scoreline is. So yeah. Oh, come on. Really? Anyways, yeah, we'll keep tabs on this. Hi, Stefan Morris. How are you doing, my brother? Good to have you on the podcast. Always a pleasure to see you around. I hope you've had a wonderful day. Bayern Munich are still searching for that equalizer. The sooner they find it, the better they will be, or they will feel about themselves. They need to renew their confidence in this tie. Otherwise, they've had to come from behind twice already. I do not think that's the kind of performance you need. That's a confidence sort of killer. Every time if you have to carry yourself out of a goal down. But for me, the game is so far living to the billing. It's so far living to the billing. Very attack-minded teams. I remember I read the team sheet for Real Madrid because it has Fede Valverde in the central midfield, Jude Bellingham, Adagula, then Brahim Diaz, Vinicius Junior, and Kylian Mbappe. Then the backline had Alexander Trent-Arnold, Eder Militao, Antonio Rudiger, and Ferland Mendy with Rooney in goal. Then on the side of Bayern Munich, I think Manuel Neuer, Konrad Lema, Josep Stancic, Dayot Upamecano, Jonathan Tah, then the midfield of Joshua Kimmich, Alexander Pavlovich. Then you've had, I think, is it Serge Gnabry, Luis Diaz, Michael Olise, and Harry Kane. So that's how the two teams set themselves up. I hope I've not missed out on any of sort of that in terms of misreading you the starting 11, because I was completely reading that off it, but I think I got that one all right. Then on the side of Arsenal, where it is still goalless, between the two sides, Arsenal brought David Raya goal. They have William Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes, Christian Mosquera at right back, Piero Hincapié returns to left back, and then you've had Gabriel Martinelli's chance buried over the bar. Anyway, so they've had Martin Zubimendi, Declan Rice, Ebeleche Eze, Gabriel Martinelli, to the other side, Noni Madueke and Victor Gyökeres. That's how they've set up. Their bench does look a bit lightweight, even though it has Max Dorman, Kai Havertz, Gabriel Jesus, Leandro Trossard, as Christian Norgard, as some of the players. Oh, Victor Gyökeres is being withdrawn already. Really? After only 56 games in the game, 50 minutes in the game. What kind of, really? Anyway, he's the manager. Come on, Madueke, go for goal. Again, poor decision making. He had the space prior. While he's still at the D, and then he takes that extra touch that puts him a bit wide, But anyways, a good play there from Arsenal in terms of offensively. For those of you that are just joining us, kindly like the broadcast and consider subscribing to the channel if it is your first time here. We are following the updates from the UEFA Champions League of match day 2 of the quarterfinals. Real Madrid are up against Bayern Munich. That game is still 3-2 in favor of Real Madrid, and for all on aggregates. The one between Arsenal and Sporting CP is still goalless, and then 1-0 on aggregate in favor of the Arsenal. So we are waiting to see. Now, first of all, when you withdraw Victor Gyökeres, you're taking out a constant threat for the centre backs. Therefore, when you pull him out, you're giving centre backs the room to move away because he stays there. He keeps them in check. They stay there for him. And when you bring Kai Havertz, he's always going to be absent. He's more or less a Gabriel Jesus kind of striker when you play him in that striking role. So then he moves out, sometimes creating space for Gabriel Martinelli to slot in, which he oftentimes will delay to occupy. Again, I don't know. Let's wait. Let's hope it does pay off. Let's hope it does pay off. Let's hope it does pay off. But Bayern Munich really, really pushing, trying to find that equalizer, but it is still eluding them. Hi, Raymond. How are you? Again, you're back with the same comments. Give me something new, Raymond. Give me something new other than sacking Ed Howe and getting Xabi Alonso, because until we get to the summer, that decision is not going to come for you. I must acknowledge. And even in the summer, there's no guarantee to it that it will happen. Give me something new to read for a comment. It's becoming so monotonous. I think I read the same comment. I've read the same comment for the last 2 weeks. Stefan says, "Oh no, not again." I understand. I understand your feeling. Raymond Kangumba, you can engage us on the wider context of football. I am from Kerala, India. You're from Kerala, India. Is that badge? Is that the flag of Israel that you have in your DP? Good to have you. IWN2MG. Hi, MG. How are you doing? How is India? Good to have you join us. Kindly like the broadcast. But since it is your first time here, please also consider subscribing to the channel. But thank you so much for chipping in. Bayern Munich living dangerously. They need... Bayern Munich will need to be careful. Otherwise, if they dare concede and it becomes 4-2 in favor of Real Madrid, that means Real Madrid would have gone ahead of them in the tie. Oh, that was a brilliant save from Manuel Neuer against Kylian Mbappe earlier on. That was a brilliant one. Bayern surely can bottle this. It's not really bottling it if you are up against the most successful team, like Arsenal will. Okay, like I do not think it's necessarily bottling it if you're up against Real Madrid because they are the most successful club in this competition. There's a reason as why they have 15 titles. Forget not that they've reached the finals in most of the World Cup years. So this is a World Cup year. So there's that sort of history moving along with them. And every time Atletico de Madrid has knocked out Barcelona at the quarterfinals, which has happened twice prior to yesterday, Real Madrid have advanced to the final in 2014 and in 2016. So you remember that. So maybe today is one of those days, really. Meanwhile, Arsenal's Noni Madueke remained on the floor following a foul, which the referee did dismiss. He's had to undergo treatment. I don't know if, Arsenal have been very, very unlucky when it comes to injuries. It does appear to be a contact injury, I think, with his knee. We know he had an issue with his knee during the international break when he, I think, collided, who was it with? In that friendly game against Uruguay during the March international break. So it will be another worry for Mikel Arteta if this injury forces him into making a substitution. Bayern Munich are preparing Jamal Musiala to come on. Real Madrid are looking so electric on the counter-attack. They're looking so electric. Arsenal are being forced into a change, introducing Max Dorman for Noni Madueke. He appears to have hurt his knee. He can barely walk. He walks with a limp. I think it's obvious he's not going to return. He's been withdrawn immediately. For Max Dorman, not the kind of injury you want when you have to play Manchester City over the weekend when you're already missing Bukayo Saka. Let's see if Max Dorman can live to the billing. He's one of those exciting youngsters that have burst onto the scene in recent times. What is David Raya thinking tonight? That's twice. He's played a clumsy pass. It's twice that he's played a clumsy pass. He's about to cost his team. He's about to cost his team. And you see, when it comes to moments like this, it takes one silly decision making, one silly mistake, and then your opponent scores, and suddenly it becomes a longer night than ordinarily it should be. Play the whistle. Do not play your own decision making. On Monday night, Manchester United, instead of playing the whistle, tried to play to officiate the game while they played it themselves. If you've not had the whistle, do not stop, do not pause for a moment, continue with play. You will make your case when the time is right. Luis Diaz just missed an opportunity to restore parity for Bayern Munich. The ball was nicked off his foot after the first touch, nicked away by Alexander Trent Arnold. It was nicked off his feet quite. Oh, does Christian Mosquera push Katamo? It will be reviewed. It will be reviewed. Rest assured. Also, I did 2 hours of track training for my 1 mile competition tomorrow. We wish you the best of luck, Stefan Morris. Oh, Vinicius Jr. firing that one wide. I think that would have been soft if it were given. There were 2 hands behind Maximiliano Araujo. Hi, everyone. For those of you that are just joining us, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending on the time zone where it is you're joining us from. We are following up on the updates from the UEFA Champions League tonight for the reverse fixtures between Real Madrid away to Bayern Munich, as well as Arsenal at home against Sporting Lisbon. So far, it is 3-2 in favor of Real Madrid, thanks to a brace by Adagula and the other by Kylian Mbappe, while Alexander Pavlovich and Hurricane squad for Bayern Munich. For the Gunners, it is still goalless, so you're not missing much. There's not been much in it, really. It's been the same dull Arsenal thus far. They've not created many chances, about 2 or 3 chances in the second half. Not the most clear cut of chances, but yeah, Kylian Mbappe will be McDonald's version of him. I don't know if I get the joke rightly, but again, by the end of tonight, Mikel Arteta may have lost his voice because he has a lot of shouting to do on that touchline. It's like he's coaching his team in training, because it's in training where they have to shout the most, directing everything, because in that moment you're teaching your team how you want them to play. So Arsenal being breached. Arsenal being breached, but David Raya up to the challenge. OG Big Boy says hi. Hi, OG Big Boy. Why are you joining us from OG Big Boy? Come on. Move it. How do you give the ball and remain static? When you give the ball away, you must put yourself in position to receive again. Oh, Gabriel Martinelli. I see what you're trying to do there, but that was poor decision making. You basically gave it away. It's not Kylian Mbappe, it's Kylian McFrappe. Oh, okay. Oh, come on. Do not get your panties in your word. If Bayern Munich are not careful, it may be Fede Valverde that puts them to the sword. He can strike that ball quite swiftly and sweetly from distance. A bad throw at this level. Oh, he took too long with it. Thought it was a bad throw. There's nothing in that. Kai Havertz get Gabriel Magalhaes with the pull. Mikel Arteta being booked. What is he trying to do? I don't know. Is he looking to distract somebody? I mean, just got himself booked. Giovanni Quenda, returning from injury, does come back, does come on in this one. He's left with only a couple of months to become a Chelsea player. He is already a Chelsea player, left there on loan. Michael Olise with a beautiful attempt, but just could not find the target. Actually, it was on target. Andre Lunin gets his hand to it, but it was a well-struck ball. It was a well-struck, beautiful struck ball, you know? Come on. As trying to go for the half volley, it was quite optimistic. It never fell perfectly well for him. So it was always rising. I think it's time Gabriel Martinelli gets withdrawn and we see Leandro Trossard. Yeah, that thing of a delayed throw in being given to the opponent is good medicine. Oftentimes I see players take ages and ages just to get a throw in away, and Arsenal are very culpable of that. They hold on to the ball as if they are going to throw. They remain in that sort of teasing motion, you know, and before you know it, they've eaten 30, 40 seconds just to get a throw on in. And I'm thinking to myself, who are you deluding into thinking that you cannot find a teammate to throw that ball to, you know? Guys, that's a 50-50 ball. Antonio Rudiger just got himself in the official's book for talking a little too much. Adagula was the player that made contact with Jamal Musiala. Bayern Munich players protested the stop of play. They had started their free kick quickly, having deemed it not to be a dangerous foul, that the player needed treatment. Arsenal are living dangerously. They are living dangerously. That was a poor pass. Whatever they are cooking, it's not boiling. Whatever they are trying to conjure, it's not happening. I don't think I would want either game to go into extra time, but as things go, it's increasingly a possibility. Real Madrid, here they come. Who is connecting with that? Real Madrid. Kai Havertz, what kind of play is that? I don't like it when a player intentionally puts himself in the way of an opponent just to try and win a foul. Like, you glance at your team, at the opponent, and basically get your body across without necessarily attempting to continue to play the ball on to get away with it, but simply to initiate contact that gets you a foul. Initiating of contact, that one I don't like. I mean, maybe there's no such a thing as winning fair, but where's the fair play? uh, it's most definitely not is the moment. Most definitely not the moment. Bayern Munich are starting to look a bit tired. Ah, it's blunt. It's nothing. There's no creativity from open play. Morning? Is it already morning for you? I don't think so. I think it's 9:35 because for us it's 11:35 p.m. as Stefan Morris, even though it's 21:35. Arsenal are making amends to their starting 11. Oh, not Arsenal. Sorry. But Arsenal will be making them quite soon. Gabriel Jesus is one of those players that are being ready to come on. I don't know what the implications will be. Ever since Kai Havertz came on, he's hardly done anything in this game to sort of give you the impression that he was the deserved substitution that was made. I've not experienced that. I've not witnessed that. It's still not made much sense at the time when the substitution was made. It's not to say that by now Victor Gyökeres would have scored, but it just didn't feel like it was the right change to make at the time. It was quite suspicious. I don't know if Mikel Arteta is thinking to himself, we have a game to play over the weekend. Get on with it. What is this thinking? You're not going to get a soft foul just because somebody touched you. Is that a hit, a smack on the head? It is, but you carry on. Leandro Trossard and Gabriel Jesus being introduced for the Arsenal. You forgive me, my feed is a couple of seconds behind, but Ebeleche Eze is a player being withdrawn. I mean, he's returning from injury, so you sort of understand. Oh, Eze withdrawn for Jesus. That means Havertz drops into the 10. Jesus goes into the starting, sort of the other side. Then Martinelli being withdrawn for Leandro Trossard. If it goes to extra time, then they have to play on. Oh. Maximiliano Araujo got himself into a bit of a snafu with Max Doman. He can be quick in nicking that ball away. You must time it to perfection. By the way, I don't know. Their set piece effectiveness has sort of diminished. Um, it's no longer working. I don't know if it's because teams have found the solution for it, but it's no longer effective. So it's not helping as they struggle to create chances from open play. They are not making set pieces count. The player just came on. It's been hardly been 2 minutes on, and you're already shouting, calling his name out. What's that is not doing right already after 2 minutes when he barely has a touch on the ball, you know? Eduardo Camavinga has decided to play rugby. In the other one, are bringing down, I think, Jamal Musiala. Typical rugby play from Eduardo Camavinga. Anyway, he took one for the team. So it's Havertz playing in the wing, kind of, and Leandro Trossard is playing like in a 4-4-2 kind of system. What's that? Uh-oh. Hurricane could not get the ball from under his feet to get the shot away. He could not get the ball from under his feet. Vinicius Jr. will talk himself into a booking. Sooner or later, it will be happening. Trust me. If he continues doing the way he is doing it. That's beautiful holder play from Leandro Trossard. Come on. That's a beautiful pass attempted by Gabriel Magalhaes. And then you cannot make it count. Oh, Adagula's sumptuous free kick is one of those that he will live to remember in front of that gargantuan crowd at the Arianza Arena. It's not meant much in recent times. That's what I was saying. They've not been effective with their set piece play. Not one bit. Oh, that was headed onto the post by Leandro Trossard as Arsenal try and push. Don't do that, please. Sporting CP need just one goal in this game, and it will be restored to parity, and then Arsenal will go panicking. You know, the funny thing that I hate, it's funny, even though I hate it about football, is that teams behave like they have a zero sense of urgency until the final minutes of the game when they either concede a goal or think they desperately need a goal. Then they begin to pretend like they're in so much urgency than they had been for the 85 minutes. And you're thinking to yourself, so what's changed now? You know, need you have to wait for the clock to be wound down for you to get going? That's a good attempt from Gabriel Jesus. For a team that does not go for it very often, that's a good attempt from Gabriel Jesus. Bayern Munich, time is running against them to try and win this one in the 90 minutes. Gabriel Jesus playing himself into traffic there. Sporting go on the counter attack. Arsenal got to be careful. They've hit that danger zone kind of time on the clock. 87 minutes. You wouldn't want to be caught up in those final minutes. I mean, Zubimendi, withdraw him. I still do not understand why Mikel Arteta has zero trust for Christian Nogard in these kinds of games. I still do not understand it. I do not know. There's not a single game that I've watched him play and I said, well, you're too poor. You do not deserve to be getting minutes in big games. I've not seen that. And yet he would rather Martin Zubimendi run his calf stud unbroken than him being withdrawn or rested, you know. Meanwhile, over the weekend, he has a very, very huge game away to the Etihad Stadium against Manchester City, a game which I think they're going to lose at the moment, unless otherwise, you know. Christian Mosquera is inverting into midfield. It's not your cup of tea. It must be painful purchasing one of the most expensive tickets in modern football to go and watch this kind of scoreline at the Arsenal. Mikel Arteta, what on God's green earth are you doing? Ball goes out, picks it up, holds onto it, goes, I think, to scream at his own player. Oh, Bayern Munich. Come on, Trossard, you're better than that. Conjure up something. Gabriel Jesus, you used to have the confidence to take on players. What happened? Oh, beautiful pass. Don't go backwards. Have some positivity in you. Zubimendi, good pass. Go for it. Nash ran into traffic there. Okay. Looks like we are. Oh, do we have a goal? I don't think so. I don't think so. Stefan, red card. Oh, red card for Hurricane. Oh, it's yet to pop up on my radar. Oh, come on. Kamavinga. I'm gonna have to wait for it. In a bit, I have a glitch in my feed. Well, you hold on to the ball for what? For what, Eduardo Camavinga? For what? You already booked. You already booked. You know that. And then you delay a restart. At what expense? At what cost? You know, you put your team that has the game in their stride in a difficult position by just making that one silly mistake. Stefan says Bayern 5-4. He says 3-3. Oh, brilliant goal. Brilliant goal. Luis Diaz. Exactly. Exactly what we were saying. You put your team in a tough spot, then they concede, and tie is over. It's tie over, basically. That's what it is. Meanwhile, those 4 minutes were added into the game. He may have missed a good opportunity when Alexander Trent Arnold nicked the ball off of him. Vinicius Jr. has simply clapped. I don't know for who exactly. Is it an appreciation of the good goal by Luis Diaz or at his teammates for the disappointment that he has in them back there? Because Kylian Mbappe clearly was never too pleased about that. Come on. Oh, it takes a slight deflection that takes it. It takes a slight deflection of Eder Militao, which puts it beyond the reach of Andre Lunin, and Manuel Neuer runs into celebration. So with that, the tie is 5-4. Yep, 5-4. Thank you so much, Stefan Morris, for the timely updates. You say goodbye, Madrid. Get out of the Champions League. We talked about demystifying those coincidences. Uh-huh. Leandro Trossard. Meanwhile, it's game over between Arsenal and Sporting CP, finished goalless, and Arsenal have advanced to the semi-finals. I would not have envisioned a goalless draw, not one bit, not for the result tonight. It's not the kind of scoreline that I would have predicted. How must it be? Of course, they will be happy that they've advanced. But I talked about if they are to win, they must win a certain way. And I do not think that if they have played in a way to the liking of those fans. Stefan says Arsenal won't win. When you say won't win, what do you mean? Won't win at the weekend against Man City? Won't win the Champions League? Won't win the Premier League title? Be a little more specific because that game is done. It's finished goalless between Arsenal and Sporting CP. You know, I mean, if I were to write a headline about Arsenal versus Sporting CP, I'll just put a blank page. I just put a blank page. maybe with two bars, and then put a ball on one, another bar on the other side. I'll put a frame of the goal with its net on a front page or the back page, then put a ball on one bar and another on the other upright. So, and say nothing, because basically that's what the game has been. It's been nothing. It's been empty, really. Like I said, they'll be happy that they are through to their first ever second consecutive semi-final in the history of the club, which is their fourth semi-final in the history of the club. But, you know, so yeah, Bayern Munich as well are marching on to the semi-finals in which they have to play PSG. Arsenal have booked themselves a date with Atletico de Madrid. Whereas they managed to beat them by 4 goals to 0 in the league phase, trust me, it's going to be a changed sort of a game when it comes to the semi-finals. Remember what happened with PSG last season? Arsenal won the fixture, I think, was it by 2-0, but then got beat home and away when it came to the knockout stage at the semi-finals. Well, could we have a repeat of that, or will we see a different Arsenal? There's no sign whatsoever this season that you do stand to see a different Arsenal, especially ever since we arrived to the knockout stage. They ditched the Arsenal that they were in the league phase and switched to the Premier League Arsenal. Wow! Thank you so much, Stefan. I think this puts it to bed. This puts it to bed. Come on, Michael is a what a goal, what a player, what a season he's having. That's what they needed, but I mean, that's what they needed, but Eduardo Camavinga, what words would you have for him for how he's cost his teammates with that silly red card that he gets just because he thinks he needs to do the restart of the game? You're already leading. It's the way you're leading is not like you're going through straight off. You do not need that. You know? Wow. Full-time score, Bayern Munich 4, 3 Real Madrid. Real Madrid players are surrounding the referee. I do not think they will get away with that one. Thank you so much, Stefan Morris. I don't think they will get away with that one. They may have not agreed with the decisions of the referee, but I do not think he's conducted himself in such a manner that Real Madrid will feel that they lost this tie because of the match official. I certainly do not think so. Jody Bellingham, speaking to the fourth official, I can't tell you what they are telling the match officials, but full-time score, Real Madrid 3, Bayern Munich 4, and it's 6-4 on aggregate. Adagula has been given a red card. He let his emotions get in the way of business. In any case, Real Madrid players must be showing off their fury to their teammate in Eduardo Camavinga. You do not pick up the ball to delay a restart. Why are you even delaying it? It's not like it's close to goal. It's not like, I do not know. You know? Ah, I don't know. It must be arrogant to think that it must be a given for Real Madrid to win. And because it's not gone their way, of course they are disappointed. Their season is done. They're going to end the season trophyless because they're not going to win the Spanish La Liga. They are already out of the Copa del Rey. They lost the Super Copa Hispana. So it's another trophyless season for Real Madrid. And it's not like they've been any good to warranty themselves a trophy. You know? So now, somebody was telling me Bayern Munich were terrific in Spain. They weren't terrific. Maybe Manuel Neuer was terrific. But that goal by Michael Olise and the goal by Luis Diaz, those are the kinds of goals that you get to watch on Champions League adverts. Like Pedri said at the start of the live, we Barcelona go down, Madrid go down. I sort of understand where you're coming from. I understand where you're coming from. Painful for Real Madrid to be knocked out, to lose, but at the end of the day, Bayern Munich were the better side, especially after I think Real Madrid made it obvious that they were disappointed in the red card, that they let it in their own performances. I remember Barcelona going a man down over both legs against Atletico de Madrid, and they still did not let that face them down. They still played well. They attacked Atletico de Madrid. They were not successful, obviously, but they did not let the red cards define the rest of their games. And basically, what you have this time around is Real Madrid letting the red card define them. You know, did it need Alvaro Arbeloa to switch tactics, to tell them this is how we need to reorganize now that we are a man less? I think it should have been self-explanatory. I wanted to see Barca versus Arsenal in the semi-finals. Unfortunately, it's going to be Arsenal versus Atletico de Madrid. Arsenal will be playing away in Spain first, I think. The reverse fixture will be at the Emirates Stadium, but Arsenal have been very unconvincing over 2 legs against Sporting CP, that it leaves an Arsenal fan with zero encouragement that they will be able to knock out Atletico de Madrid. I'm not sure. Maybe it is just me, but I wait to see if they will carry themselves with any confidence going into that particular fixture as far as things stand. You know, we'll have to wait and see how they will fare, but it is what it is. So those are the semi-finals. PSG versus Bayern Munich, because PSG will play home first, as they have done in the quarter finals and as they did in the round of 16. So they'll be at Parc des Princes first against Bayern Munich before making the trip to the Allianz Arena. I think that's one of the most difficult ties. It's a tie worthy of a final between PSG and Bayern Munich. The two sides met during the league phase, and Bayern Munich won that one by 2-1, despite finishing the game less with the man less, Luis Diaz being the culprit with the red card in that one, and for his dangerous tackle on Achraf Hakimi. I said PSG, Bayern versus PSG will be very interesting indeed. But I think the order will be PSG versus Bayern, so home and away basis, as it will be Atletico versus the Arsenal. So let's try and find, let's see, some bit of reaction from the online forums when it comes to those performances. Like I said, the kind of performance that Arsenal put in tonight, including that they put in away in Portugal, if you're an Arsenal fan, it does leave you with very, very little encouragement that they will win the tie at the semi-finals. But at least they have themselves a fighting chance. Will it be the second consecutive season that they get eliminated at the semi-finals, or will they be taking it a notch further to reach the finals? Today, as part of a forum, and somebody made the submission that Arsenal needed to be eliminated from one of the competitions, particularly the Champions League, because he thinks they cannot win it and concentrate on trying to win the Premier League. His question for Mikel Arteta was, which one would you want to prioritize? Go for that one. And for me, it's not that simple. especially looking at the kind of stage that they are in already. What a season for Olise. Not what a season for Olise, but what a player Olise is, because the kinds of things he's doing this season are simply a step up from the kinds of things he did last season. So brilliant, such a brilliant player, very, and I mean, that's why people would dread playing against France when it comes to the World Cup, because they have one of the most elite, teams. They have one of the most elite teams in as far as things go. So, when you look at France's forward lines, when you look at Kylian Mbappe, Michael Olise, Ryan Cherki, Ousmane Dembele, Bradley Barcola, Desile Doué, Marcus Thuram. Ekitike is now out of the frame because he suffered that season-ending Achilles injury, and is set to return in January 2027. We are in April, so that should tell you how many months he's going to be out for. That's as many as 8 months or 9 months thereabout. That is how long he's expected to be out. If you do remember at PSG, Presido Kimpembe, President Kimpembe suffered a similar injury, and he was out for more than 400 days. That's a whole year and a month and a half that he was out for, really. So it's simply going to be difficult. City will get a Premier League, okay, that's Stefan Morris. But yeah, I think it's been really, really brilliant. Then Luis Diaz, equally, what a season he's having. Brilliant player. Again, he's one of those players who I thought Bayern Munich had overspent when they paid 75 million euros to get him out of Liverpool in the summer, and yet when he's already proving his worth in as far as this season is concerned. It's his debut campaign with Bayern Munich, and it's just brilliant. When it comes to Michael Olise, already 12 goals in the German Bundesliga, 18 assists. That's a 30-goal involvement. You cannot beat that. Last season, he scored 12 goals and provided 14 assists. That's what I was saying, that this season, it's already a step up for him. And by the way, he's done those things in 27 appearances. Whereas he did the other things in 34 appearances. So you can see that he's going from sort of one place to another. When it comes to the UEFA Champions League, he's played now, let me see. The rounds were 8, round of 16, 2, quarterfinals 2, that's 12, but he missed one game with suspension. He's played 11 games in the UEFA Champions League. He's scored 4 goals and provided 5 assists. That's a 9-goal involvement. So he's going to be, if Bayern Munich were to win the UEFA Champions League, he's got to be in the Ballon d'Or conversation. He's got to be in it. He's got to be in it. What an attack for Bayern Munich. Indeed, Harry Kane, yeah. Harry Kane is equally having a very, very good season when it comes to his numbers. So he's doing good. I think he has about 12 goals now in the UEFA Champions League this season. Yeah, 12 goals and 1 assist in 11 games. In the German Bundesliga, he has a 36-goal involvement with 31 goals and 5 assists in there. So it's already looking pretty for him. When you look at Luis Diaz is again equally been brilliant. And that's what I keep saying about Bayern Munich's attack. It's so good. 27 games in the Bundesliga, 15 goals and 11 assists for Luis Diaz. In the UEFA Champions League, 6 goals and 3 assists in 10 games. That's a 9-goal involvement in 10 games. They're just so good. They'll be up against a team that is equally brilliant. Kane and Olise, Mbappe is favorite for Ballon d'Or. I do not think Mbappe is going to be favorite for Ballon d'Or. Not even if he wins the World Cup. I do not think he would still make him favorite. And the reason for that will be that, allow me to say this. If, let's say, Bayern Munich win the Bundesliga, which is a given, let's say they were to win the UEFA Champions League, and then England make it to the finals of the World Cup with Harry Kane having beautiful performances during the World Cup, then he would be ahead of Kylian Mbappe, even if England were to lose the final of the World Cup. So if it played out that way, then if, let's say, Bayern Munich won all those things, and then Michael Olise is a critical part of France winning the World Cup, it would go to Michael Olise, you know? So look at it that way. So really, I think he will be in contention, obviously, Kylian Mbappe, but I think now that they're out of the UEFA Champions League, he may be at an arm's distance, depending on who wins the UEFA Champions League. Then also, on the other side, if, let's say, Arsenal were to win the Premier League, and then they win the UEFA Champions League, and then England make it to the finals of the World Cup, and regardless of winning it or not winning it, trust me, Declan Rice will be high in that conversation. So, you know, it's never going to be as simple as that. It's not going to be a given in any case. Stefan says England versus France World Cup final will be a very tough game. Indeed, it would be. But that's simply to try and paint for you what the implications of the Ballon d'Or would be if any of those teams were to win those accolades, you know. Anyways, let's see. I'm trying to find some feedback. Okay, Stefan says, I see France, England, Portugal, or Brazil winning it. I mean, for Brazil, it would have to be miraculous. For Brazil, it would have to be miraculous. I do support Brazil, but even I do not have them in my top 4 favorites. I have England, I have Portugal, I have Spain, and France. I think. Is it France? Yes. And then in 5th place, I have Argentina. So you say they need Neymar. Well, from the look of things, it doesn't appear that they are going to summon Neymar. According to multiple reports from Brazil, they've constantly reported that Neymar may not be summoned to the national team squad. So okay, this is where the problem lies at Arsenal. Declan Rice barely made the squad today, and he will end up playing 90 minutes. The Nogard signing was extremely lazy recruitment. This is where you need to have a player that can be trusted to come on. I simply do not know the thing about Christian Nogard. Why is he not trusted to come on? Why is he not trusted to come on? For me, that remains a big question, you know? So I just don't get it. I just don't get it, really. The thing about Christian Nogard and Mikel Arteta, unless unless um, unless Martin Zubimendi were to suffer a broken leg and Declan Rice be absent, is the only world where he would start Christian Nogard, or even perhaps give him minutes. And the reason as why I say that, because if you have Declan Rice available, then you play Declan Rice and Kai Havertz in that midfield, or Declan Rice and Odegaard if he's available, or Ebeleche Eze, as opposed to choosing to trust Christian Nogard. I still do not know why they made the signing. I understand they brought him, he knew while coming in that he's going to be a squad player, But you look at the situation they are in with, Martin Zubimendi playing 90 minutes, Declan Rice, who barely trained, playing 90 minutes. What does that say about the manager? Yes, you want to go through, but you have a Premier League game over the weekend against Manchester City. That is going to be more demanding than Sporting CP have been tonight. That one is going to be more demanding than Sporting CP have been tonight. So you must be really, really, excuse me, that's a mosquito trying to invade me. So let's wait and see. The way you are as a captain, big man, I have to say that you were outstanding. I'm so happy. We shared so many games. That's Thierry Henry. Speaking about Patrick Vieira. Did Turkey qualify? Yeah, Turkey qualified for the World Cup. I think they beat Kosovo by 0-0 in the playoff final. Raymond says, hi, Champions League, Arsenal versus Sporting Lisbon. It is win for Newcastle United now. How is it a win for Newcastle United? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense, that comment. You say Champions League, then you say Arsenal. What did you intend to mean with that? I always try to read between the lines to try and understand what the implications are. Did Italy qualify? No, Italy did not qualify. They got beat by Bosnia-Herzegovina in post-match penalties that preceded a 1-0 draw. Alessandro Bastoni received a red card in that one. Raymond says, hi, Arsenal versus Sporting Lisbon. It is a win for Arsenal fans in the Champions League from Ray. Okay, at least that makes sense. Thank you, Raymond. Yes, like I said, Arsenal fans will be happy that they've gone through. They'll be happy that they've gone through. But that kind of performance, I'm not sure they're going to appreciate it one bit. Anyways, did Morocco qualify? Yes, Morocco qualified for the World Cup. I'm not finding. Okay, let me see. I was trying to find some bit of match reaction from a different fora. Oh, come on. Okay, let's look at some match statistics for purposes of context. For those of you that want the full picture. Meanwhile, tomorrow, which is already today because it's 19 minutes past the hour of midnight here, the UEFA Europa League continues. That's at the quarterfinals as well as the UEFA Conference League. So, in terms of the statistics for tonight, Arsenal versus Sporting CP, an XG of 0.6 from Arsenal. Where's that going to take you? Sporting CP had 0.29, one shot on target for either sides, 8 off target for Arsenal and 6 off target for Sporting, 6 blocked shots for Arsenal, 1 for, Sporting, 50-50 ball possession, 8 corners for the Arsenal and 3 for Sporting. It was such a dull game. I mean, it may as well not have been played. Should not be recorded on history as a game that was played. Anyway, jokes aside, when it comes to the Real Madrid Bayern Munich game, Real Madrid had an XG of 2.27 compared to compared to Bayern's at 2.09. 9 shots on target for Bayern Munich and only 5 for Real Madrid. 5 off target for Bayern Munich and 4 off target for Real Madrid. 7 blocked shots for Bayern Munich. 69% ball possession. That's the thing about Real Madrid. They do not need your possession to self-determine their destiny, to sort of win a game of football, really, this was an assessment. Somebody said, called David Oliver says, well, with half the possession and 1 shot on target, Arsenal certainly brought the fire. He's mocking Mikel Arteta because he said he feels the fire. Somebody said, I'm running out of energy. I must be an Arsenal fan. Raymond says, Arsenal versus Bayern Munich final in the Champions League. It is a win. Arsenal fans, this is from Ray. I think that is Raymond predicting that Bayern Munich will knock out PSG. And somehow, this poor Arsenal side will find a way to get past Atletico de Madrid and make it to the finals of the UEFA Champions League and win it. So that's his prediction. You say, Stefan, it's 22 hours. It's 0022 hours down here. Okay. Have some FCM. You won it twice over teams who did the double the year before. So how is it a trophy when you shouldn't have even been in the game? Lolo, only Arsenal fans can think this. Oh, now that's a reaction. I need to know what they are reacting to. Aha, Jesus Christ. So yeah, the semi-finals, PSG versus Bayern Munich, Atletico versus Arsenal. That has been said. Okay, I'm trying to look for more reaction from about this Arsenal side. With Arsenal's absolutely dismal level, I wouldn't be surprised if the final ends up being a straightforward Atletico de Madrid Bayern Munich. That's his prediction. He doesn't see how Arsenal get past Atletico de Madrid at the quarterfinals because of that poor display. This is called Anteke says, I'm not feeling my fear ahead of the semi-final. The Atletico and Arsenal from October are completely different teams than they are now. And on top of that, they are expending energy fighting for the league. We will get through without much trouble. That's I think Anteke is an Atletico de Madrid fan. He thinks they will go through. He says the Arsenal from that they played in October and lost 2-4 goals to nil is very, very much different from the Arsenal that is playing at the moment, and they are still fighting for the league. So he feels that will be a weakness for Atletico de Madrid to exploit. Okay, and it's a valid point, by the way, because again, what Atletico Madrid are going to simply do is rest their players and have them ready for the games against Arsenal. Really, Arsenal are going to be on the other side trying to fight to win the Premier League title. I hope they do not end up going empty-handed, because you could fight for both and win nothing. But also, you could, just because you exit one does not guarantee that you get to win the other. So it's basically, simply put, as simple as that. Okay, let's see. Are Real Madrid also going to say they've been robbed because of the red card? Arsenal know a thing or two about bookings when it comes to time wasting, Okay. Real Madrid was literally being Atletico Madrid in the last 30 minutes. Bayern Munich. Okay, no. I don't understand that language. Yemi Karaga on Bayern Munich beating Real Madrid. Listen, over the two legs, Bayern Munich were miles better. I do not suddenly believe so. Vincent Kompany absolutely schooled Alvaro Arbeloa tactically. Madrid were on the back foot all game. The red card to Eduardo Camavinga killed it. Game over. And Trent Alexander-Arnold, I'm sorry, that was abysmal. Couldn't deal with Luis Diaz all night, letting him out. Let him cut inside and score a welder. That's basic defending. Really, Jamie Carragher? No. Unless Jamie Carragher is trying to pick a bone with Alexander Trent-Arnold. So if he attempted 9 times and beat him once, what makes you think suddenly the defender is too poor? Now, Jamie Carragher has a touch of bitter taste from Trent-Arnold leaving Liverpool the way he left. Now, Michael Olise, wow, what a kid. That has just told the world I'm the best winger right now. Came from the Palace and dominated the biggest stage. I hope Lamine Yamal is watching. This is how you walk the talk. And Diaz finished, not for me, still performing at the highest level. Liverpool got that one wrong. Yeah, in letting him go, they got that one wrong. Big players for Madrid, Vinicius Jr. and Kylian Mbappe, average on a night. You need them. They didn't turn up. Only one I will give credit to is Adagula. He was brilliant. That's the difference between this level. Bayern Munich had men, Madrid had passengers. Now, I think the final scoreline does not tell the full story. Because, of course, that red card changed a lot in the game. It meant that it changed the context of the game and basically tilted it more in the favor of Bayern Munich, for which it was already in their favor, though at home. But let's not forget, Real Madrid were still leading 3-2 at that point, and it was 4-4 on aggregate score. Anything could have still happened. Let's not forget that Real Madrid led all the way. Like, they were the ones going ahead at every instant. And Bayern Munich were having to react. So, again, I understand it's a case of opinion based on what each of us has made the observation of, but I certainly don't want to think so. Because I need to be ready for tomorrow, okay? I need to go shower. Thank you, Stefan Morris. It's been a pleasure. I'm equally wrapping it up, at the count of 1.5 hours. I think that we've been here thus far, in as far as tonight is concerned. So you'll allow me, Stefan Morris, thank you so much. Raymond Kangumba, thank you so much. Pedri did not return. MG, thank you so much for having been part of tonight's discussion. Adash, thank you so much. Pedri, always a pleasure. And every single one of you that has been a part of tonight's conversation. Our colleagues from the TikTok lives that well, in terms of the forums that I attend to, that have come and subscribed to the channel, I thank you so much. Also, all our new subscribers that have come aboard, I say enjoy yourselves while here, watch all the content, revisit the lives, what games are tomorrow just in a bit. Review all the lives, watch all the videos, and let us know what your thoughts are. But in terms of tomorrow, Celta Vigo will be up against Freiburg. Aston Villa will take on Bologna. Nottingham Forest will take on FC Porto, while Real Betis will be up against Braga. That's in the UEFA Europa League. Then in the UEFA Conference League, AZ Alkmaar are up against Shakhtar Donetsk. AEK Athens will be up against Rayo Vallecano. Fiorentina will take on Crystal Palace, while Strasbourg will be up against Mainz 05. So those are the games. My friend supports Nottingham Forest. Well, you may as well message him and say, wish you the best of luck against FC Porto tomorrow at the City Ground. So that's what you should be expecting tomorrow. Guys, so it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for always choosing to be a part of the Football Tribe UG channel, for keeping us company, for your engagement, for your invaluable time. I can never thank you enough for your dedication. So stay blessed, and let's link up again tomorrow. Bye-bye for now. I'll see you guys.